Hello and welcome to Las Vegas Pitch. Another episode. I've got my friend and co-host, Robert Condell. We're excited to be here today. And
Woo!
Robert, we were talking behind the scenes. You saw this article and we said, we got to talk about this article. Tell me what it's all about.
Okay, the Las Vegas Review Journal said, Las Vegas, people who live in Las Vegas, Las Vegan, whatever they're called, now have to make six figures to afford a mortgage. I bought a home in 2021 when rates were at 3.5%. They're at 8% now, high sevens. Bill is the numbers guy. He's the loan originator. He's a mortgage professional. He's been doing this for 30 years. He's put about 8,000 people in homes, maybe even more in the span of his career. He's our expert. Don't answer the question yet. You got to watch the end of the video, but we're going to be talking about the landscape of the home, the real estate industry, home buyers, sellers, just a quick recap of the last couple of years, because it's been a crazy couple of years since I bought a home in 2021.
A lot of things have happened over that time period. I mean, if you go back to the pre-COVID, then COVID, all this stuff has changed and interest rates dropped down. You know, they were in threes. Some people got 1.99%. I know when you got into your home, you were like at about 3.5%.
Yeah. And I thought that was high.
And you were like, oh my gosh, but the landscape has changed and people can take a little bit of a breath right now. When you went to buy your home, Robert, I remember you calling me, Bill, I like this home. I got to make an offer on this home. The agent's saying I need to write an offer. Can you give me a pre-approval letter? And you were writing the offer in the home. You were like,
oh
you had to react like this.
Yeah, there were multiple offers. I was an FHA loan. There were like conventional offers, cash buyers. It was like I had to make a decision literally in the home because there were like a bunch of other people trying to get that home. It was low rates, but a lot of people trying to buy and a lot of competition. Right now, it's literally flipped over, right?
It's totally flipped. And for you, being an FHA buyer, the sellers at that time were like, FHA, who cares about FHA, right? They wanted to get a cash offer. They wanted to get a 20% down offer. You had an amazing agent that got you in there, but the landscape has changed. Now people can actually go into homes. There's more inventory. Inventory has come up. Back when you were buying, it was like way, way low. And that's why we were having all the multiple offers.
So right now you have choices for homes. There's more, you have more options to buy a home because there's less people looking at homes because they're scared of the high 8%, 7.5 or 7, this high 7 interest rates. So that's the landscape now. People are scared. Homes are sitting in the market. I see price cuts. I saw a price cut the other day of 100,000. Which was crazy. So there's more homes sitting and there's more sellers going, oh my God, what's going on? My home's sitting on the market. Let me give you some closing costs, right? Let me offer some things. And, even the builders are offering incentives. So naturally people are scared. We're also going into the winter season, which is very slow for real estate and just our industry in general, right? What do you see the next few months? What does that play out for inventory, home prices, rates, and are the homes going to drop in value now that they're sitting on the market longer?
Yeah, those are all really good questions. And you're right. The biggest fear that a buyer has right now that is getting a mortgage is my mortgage payment is going to be too high.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to afford this payment. I'm not going to be able to sleep at night. And so they're really worried about that. And there's two reasons why home buyers are not buying right now. NAR, National Association of Realtors survey. Number one, they're waiting for rates to drop. Number two, they do not want to get into a multiple offer situation. So people actually should consider looking at these homes. And if you look at the marketplace right now, the properties that are on the market right now, those sellers really do want to sell. Or they wouldn't have it on the market, right? Number one. Do I think values will go down? That was another question that you had. I don't think they're going to go down. I think that we're going to stabilize. I think we're going to come into a little bit more of a flattening of it.
What makes you say that though?
The reason is there's still limited inventory.
Okay.
It's not like no inventory like
Sure.
it was before, but there's just not necessarily enough homes.
And by
on the
inventory,
marketplace.
there's not enough homes for
sale.
sale. And because of the demand of the millennials are buying, Wall Street's buying, Gen Z's buying, are the boomers buying, Gen X is buying, everyone's buying.
Yes, they're all buying.
They're not buying as much, but they're still buying. It's just the ratio of people buying versus the homes available is still unbalanced.
Yeah, so
right?
so there's enough demand.
Yep.
That is propping up and keeping home values there.
Yeah.
Now, if the inventory was up here and the buyers were way down here, then yes, you'd have to have that inventory or the sale prices drop. But there's enough buyers, and you talk about it, the millennials. The millennials right now, the wave of millennials, first-time home buyers around 33, 34 years old, that home buyer right now, millennials, the wave is there.
So let's talk
there's
mortgage
demand.
payment then. Let's talk mortgage payment. What you're saying, okay, let me go buy this house now. There's a price drop. The rates are 8 or 7%. What are the options for you as a lender to the seller and to me as a buyer to bring down my mortgage payment, and B, net the seller a little bit more money because they don't have to drop the sale price? Here's a tee up for that 2-1 buy down.
Well, a lot of it is mindset.
Okay.
So I think people that are thinking about buying, part of it is a calculated risk. You have to look at real estate as a long-term investment. I think people right now are very myopic.
Yep.
And they're looking like right now, right as of today, but they don't look at this at a 10-year time period. I have many people that I'm pre-qualifying right now, pre-approving right now, that can afford the payment.
Okay.
But they're still hesitant about making an offer. And so what a lot of sellers are doing right now is offering what's called a 2-1 buy down. And it essentially
like buying down the interest rate.
Yeah. So the seller is paying the buyer and to lower the interest rate for the first 2 years. It's 2% lower in the first year, 1% lower in the second year. And so that's giving the buyer some time to get that interest rate potentially in a longer term view where they can refinance and get into a more solid interest rate down the road. And for the buyer,
well, okay, who negotiates that? Is it the person buying the home? Is it the real estate agent, or is it the lender?
Yeah, it's really the agent, the buyer's agent,
realtor. Yep.
That is telling the buyer, I think we should ask the seller to pay for closing costs, to pay for a 2-1 buy down, and then that way you can get a reduction in the mortgage payment for the first 2 years,
Sure.
24 months. And the goal is to allow the buyer to have some time to see rates drop, to then go in and refinance and get a more permanent loan. And remember, it is a 10-year period.
Yeah.
But the buyer is fearful, and those that I believe understand and take that mindset of 10 years and go in as a calculated risk, do the 2-1 buy down, or just understand that they're not going to be in the mortgage for the long term, they can change the mortgage. What's the saying that Brandon always uses?
What was it? Oh yeah, the interest rate once you get in a home, the rates can change, but the home prices aren't going to drop. They're never going to change, right?
So you can't change the home price.
You can't change the home price. You can change the interest rate, right? Yeah. And honestly, when you guys, because I listened into your podcast, you and Brandon on Thursday, you say you save more money. Everybody saves more money down the line by taking the higher rate because the homes are going to appreciate way more faster than the rate, right?
Yeah, when you buy real estate, you're basically leveraging your money.
Sure.
So let's say, for example, you get a $400,000 mortgage, and you're paying 2% more than where the market might come down. 2% on $400,000, my math, $8,000. Now, if you put 20% down on that, you would have bought a $500,000 home. So the typical appreciation over the last 65 years is right around 5%. 5% on $500,000 is $25,000. What would you rather do? earn $25,000 or pay $8,000. So you're leveraging that house. The house is going to appreciate. It's compound interest. And so I think I would take and just suck it up for a couple of years to make that mortgage payment, but to get into the home and have the appreciation long term.
And so once, and because of the supply issue, and this is going to segue into the main topic, which is 6 figures to buy a home, right, in Las Vegas. And that's very jarring to read. And it's, I think it's clickbait, honestly, Las Vegas Review Journal. Because of the supply of homes right now and the different generations buying a home, that makes the mortgage payment higher or makes the home higher. Am I understanding that properly?
Well, you can. So to answer the question here,
Yeah.
can you buy a home with a less than 6-figure salary or
Sure.
6-figure income? Yes, you can absolutely do it. It's basically understanding your scenario, what your debts are. You may be pressing, we talk about this, pressing your debt to income ratio, which would be a little bit uncomfortable. But I think what ends up happening is if you look at it as a calculated risk, you might have to suck it up a little bit. You might have to not go out as much. You may not go to as many shows. You may not buy the filet mignon versus, a flank steak, right?
Yep.
So you just have to cut back a little bit. But long term, just know that payment, if you go in at 8%, that's not going to be your permanent payment.
So this to me says one thing, right? It says that it won't stop, right? Homes are going to continue to appreciate, and they're just going to be more rare. It's going to be a rare thing to have. I talked to a bunch of realtors. Home ownership is going to be scary in the future because the homes are going to cost so much, right? Like Wall Street's buying a lot of the homes, right? Gen Z is going to grow up, right? They're going to buy more homes. Are the builders ever going to catch up?
It's going to take years. I mean, there's a lot of data out there that says that there are 5 million, there's 5 million homes that are needed in order to, fill the demand from all the homeowners.
Yeah.
With all the regulations that happen, all the stuff that it takes, supplies, all that stuff, it takes a long time to build a home. Sometimes it takes a lot to just get a plot of land ready to build a home. And so I think it's going to take many, many years for the builders just to build enough homes.
Well, then you even have like supply issues and stuff, right? Like your brother builds the transformers, Mike, right?
Mike, yeah.
Bill has a brother who builds the transformers that power the homes on the street.
He sells his transformers to subdivisions, to developers, to builders. And he was telling me that the time period to get a transformer just for the neighborhood is over 2 years. He said at one point it was 4 years.
Crazy.
So all these developers are now buying all these transformers, putting orders in, and it's just an interesting time. So to build a lot of homes over that time period
takes time.
It's going to take time.
Sure. Okay. All right. Last words. 6 figures to afford a home in Las Vegas. True or false?
False.
Clickbait?
It is false. You can't afford a home with a less than 6-figure salary. And it's just a matter of running your numbers, understanding where you're at, what your FICOs are, what your debt to income ratio is. But I have many, many borrowers that are buying homes with incomes less than $100,000.
All right. I'm dropping the mic and exiting out. I actually have to end the live.
He has to end the live. So anyways, thanks for joining us. Run your own numbers, create your mindset, understand where you have to be, and you can do it. So we'll see everybody.